welcome. We are here tonight to celebrate the Games of Glory and the wonderful show that has two teams of two pitted against each other in the arena of champions. For those that are just joining in, enjoy the show. For those that are in the audience, don't forget you are more than welcome to help vote with the crowds and help determine the fate of those within the trials. This is the new Trial of Challenges, and we are going to get straight into it with a quick recap from the previous session. So at the end of the last session in the Arena of Champions, we had the two teams pitted one against the other, and we left it with a scream that echoed around the arena, a blood-curdling scream that was unmistakably the Herald's voice, raw and terrified. And it ended too cleanly. There was no struggle that followed, no running feet, only a soft mechanical thud of a gate closing somewhere beneath the east stand. And behind them, the crowd was still chanting 3, 3, 3 repeatedly, and attendants were already smiling as though nothing had happened. But now, it is the following morning. At first light the following morning, the Games of Glory reopens beneath the banners that have been washed clean. A public notice has been nailed to every wine stall and bookmaker's booth. The Herald suffered a collapse brought on by exhaustion. He is receiving private care. No corruption has been substantiated. And someone has written the word fixed across some of those notices in charcoal, and someone else has obviously tried to scrub it away. But the word remains. The tunnel to the sand smells of hot iron, old blood, and fresh lime wash. The walls have been scrubbed so fiercely that the stone is paler in patches. Where the herald's laughter should be rolling down from above, you hear the scrape of a slate and a man quietly rehearsing sentences that he did not write. Your Lannister stops you just before the final gate, and beyond it you can hear the thousands waiting to decide what your names are worth, chanting your current team name, calling you, beckoning you out onto the sands. But before you go out, the Lannister turns to you and says, whatever they tell you this is, remember that somebody screamed after the last victory. Win the trial, watch the East stand, and do not let them decide what kind of people you are before you've decided for yourselves. The gates before you begin to open, and you hear from the sands outside the deputy herald as he is looking at the sheet and reading aloud everything word for word that he's been told. And the arena seems to be quieter than the ruckus it was last time. Great bronze bell hanging above the square stone dais at the centre of the sand, and 4 clay amphorae stand at the corners of shallow drainage channels, and 2 enormous mastiffs strain against iron tethers to the east and west. The larger animal carries a bronze weight beneath its throat, wrapped to its collar in torn red and gold cloth. High above, 3 champions sit behind a new iron screen, and beside them is a 4th chair draped in black. At the official's arch, a clerk in red gloves opens a ledger. Then the deputy herald Culdus then steps forward. He doesn't smile, just stares at his slate. People of the sand, patrons of lawful spectacle, the games of glory continue. The crowd answers with a scattered cry of, "Where is he?" wanting their entertaining herald back. And Caldus waits for it to die. The former herald is indisposed, and the arena remains uncorrupted. The result of the grand arena stands by generosity of the patrons and by no other cause. This time the crowd answers with one word: fixed, fixed, fixed. You see Caldus swallowing, turning the slate, and raising his voice once more. You asked whether the games still have teeth. Today the lost cause will answer. Octavia, Rosen, step forward and let the sand learn who you are. As you step out onto the sands, as you've been summoned, what do the crowd see? We'll start with Octavia.
The crowd sees a calm, dark-haired woman in battered gladiatorial armor, pale spectral energy curling around her disembodied form. Octavia enters without waving or performing. She offers the people of the land a respectful bow, for she holds no grievance against them. Then she raises her shield, checks that her partner is beside her, and pointedly refuses to acknowledge the gods watching from above.
And Rosen, as you step out onto the sands, what do they see?
The crowd sees something a bit unfamiliar, something a bit odd. A dragonborn, but a green one. A green hue that may not have been seen in these sands for quite some time. But it's not a slave, not a stowaway. But they have chain armor, and scratched out seemingly by blade from their armor is symbols of authority. It seems to be insignia of rank of a soldier, now scratched out and weathered from the armor, as Rosen steps out with a battle axe and shield in hand, and a glaive wrapped in cloth daunt on his back. He gives a small, meager look at the crowd before acknowledging those watching over him, the former champions, as he continues to walk in the sand.
Caldus points towards the great bell. Blood calls blood. Above you hangs the blood bell, silent and without its tongue. The tongue is carried by the beast, and he points to the mastiff to the east. Take it, return it, let victory speak before the 6th gong strikes. He looks down at the final line on his slate, and for about half a heartbeat he seems a little unwilling to read it. Fail, and the hounds shall speak for you. 6 attendants raise 6 black mallets beside 6 smaller gongs, and the crowd begins to count before the horn has even sounded. Before we begin this challenge of blood, what I am going to ask you to do is both get your initiatives rolled.
Understood. Initiatives have been rolled.
So, for Octavia, we have 19 on your initiative. And what was Rosen's? It doesn't seem to have appeared for me.
It's not appearing for me either. Did I hit the wrong button? I got a 20 plus my modifier, which is 2 for 22. I believe I'm not rolling publicly, though.
That might explain why.
How would I fix that?
Don't worry, as long as you call it out, it will be fine.
Then I've rolled a 22.
Perfect. So, with the initiatives set, although I am putting the combat as a starting, it is not starting yet. Your mission, your goal, has been directed by Caldus, is to recover the bronze clapper from the larger mastiff, fit it to the central blood bell, and ring it before the end of round 6. Killing the mastiffs is permitted, but it is not necessarily required. The arena contains 4 blood amphorae with shallow channels and 2 brass sluice wheels. Before we begin, you have a moment to take 1 free action in terms of investigations, whether it be perception, investigation, survival, insight, or any other means of investigation. What would you like to do?
Rosen would like to see if the Mastiff has been starved. Or anything else of that matter, more specifically starved. Can food lure them in? If so, that might prevent bloodshed.
Roll me a animal handling check then, please.
I got a 7.
On a 7, the mastiffs look hungry. They look hungry for blood, but that's all you can tell at this time. Octavia, what would you like to do?
Sorry. Could I roll possibly a perception or survival to be able to see if there's anything around us, whether that's around the dogs, us, or around the area, that could possibly heed us in acquiring what we need?
Absolutely. I will allow you to choose either perception or survival.
Okay.
And that total was...
Did it not come up?
I saw the roll, but it seems to be not coming up on the game log.
It didn't come up on my... Are you okay? Because it was between 7 and 13, so
I saw a
I believe
7 land on top, so...
Yeah.
We'll do 7, and then it's plus 7, so it'd be 14.
14.
Ooh.
And that was survival or perception, sorry?
It was perception.
On a 14 for perception, you just beat the higher DC of what you notice. The first thing you notice is that the lead mastiff on the east is carrying the clapper. The red and gold binding cloth is not arena leather and has a brass fastening caught in its knot. You're 14. As you continue to look around, you notice Lady Cecilia Vaughan's public box on the east stand is empty, but a pale silhouette watches from behind the inner gauze.
Alrighty.
And with that, we are going to start this trial of blood. Rosen, you're up first. What would you like to do? Mastiff B is the one carrying the clapper.
Very well. Then, without further ado, knowing that we have to get it off this beast, and there's really only one way to do that, Rosen's going to give Octavia a look as he sort of he more readies his shield as he begins to move towards the Mastiff. Starting out slow, calculative, not sure if the beast will be drawn out by his lone presence. Maybe it's been intimidated by his size. But he's slowly going to walk towards him. Does the beast respond? Does it prepare to attack, run away? Is there anything I can glean from its reaction as I approach?
At this moment, it seems to be pulling angrily, hungrily, and in a very frustrated way against its chains. There's not much to it, other than the fact that it can smell blood.
All right. Then if the beast is chained and it's aggressive and it wants to get Veer and Rosen, then I will just continue to approach it. I'll get as close as I can with my movement, and I will ready an attack if it were to break the chains and lash out at me. And then I'm just going to wait for Octavia to approach as
30
Rosen sort of
feet.
looks back.
30 feet will actually get you right up next to it.
Very good. As I'm looking this beast up and down, a look of pity washes over Rosen's face. As that will be the end of his turn.
Fair enough. The Mastiff that is on the west side of the arena is currently pulling at its chain. It does not seem to be able to break it. However, that doesn't stop it from trying. And with a natural 20 for 21 on its strength check, it does indeed manage to break free. And it will begin to move towards Octavia, as she is the closest and the only one currently in sight, as this plinth that the bell stands upon is about 5 to 6 foot high, risen up off the floor. And then we will move to Octavia. What are you doing?
I'm going to assume that I can see the dog.
You can indeed.
Okay. She is going to kneel down for the dog. She's going to stay low as she can while slightly holding up her hand. Can I grab? Now I know they're hungry for blood.
Yes.
But can I grab a ration out of my bag?
You can indeed.
Can I put it on the ground in front of me while staying low, but I'm going to hold an action just in case it decides it does not. It prefers something more fresh.
Fair enough. You can indeed hold your action. I will allow that.
While the dog is coming up, I would like to just also talk calmly to it. Try and make it a, encouraging sounding voice that she means no harm. Not sure if the dog can even understand her, but that, she wants to help it in some way, shape, or form, and she'll just leave it at that.
Fair enough. It is now the Mastiff in front of Rosen, pulling at its chains, but you are close enough and it turns, and as it looks at you, you can see in its eyes it has not eaten for about 3 days. It is hungry and it is blood trained. It is first of all going to attempt to pull against its chains with a 19 on the strength check. It succeeds to find the weak link and the chain breaks. Its action at this point will be to turn and immediately attempt to bite you, Rosen. Does a 12 hit?
Unfortunately not. As it goes to bite Rosen, he sort of slams it aside with his shield, knocking it off course, almost playing with it.
It looks to be a little frustrated. But with that, you hear the first of the gong bells chime. And the tether chains that were holding these mastiffs retract back into the central plinth, releasing what clasps they would have had if they'd still been attached. And the crowd begins to count. 1! You hear it. Loud, clear, decisive. Spec,
Very well.
roll a d4 for me.
Of course. I would love to. Let me find it. A d4. A 1.
Okay, on a 1, the amphora that is in the northwest corner of the arena tips. And as it tips over, you see fresh blood beginning to pour out of the amphora and into the sluice channel. The dogs immediately react. They can smell it in the air, and they want to turn on their turns to chase the smell of fresh blood. Rosen, your turn. What are you doing?
So, just run by me as Rosen's closer to this beast. How might he have to remove it from Mastiff B?
That is entirely up to you. If you wish to wrestle, if you wish to decapitate, if you wish to just try and grab and yank the collar off where the clapper is, it's entirely up to you how you wish to do that.
Seeing this beast and knowing its hunger, seeing the hunger in its eyes, Dragonborn blood is warm. It offers a warming sensation. It's very nutritious as a more magical spawn. Using the sharp end of his battle axe, Rosen's going to cut a small gash in his hand, dropping a small pool of his blood to the floor, dealing some self-damage. But maybe kindness, maybe pity, he will feed the beast. And as maybe it goes down to consume, he plans to try and take the collar off while it feeds on his own blood. If that is possible.
It is entirely possible. As you cut into your hand, roll a d4 for your damage plus your strength modifier. As you cut into your hand, Indeed, it does get the Mastiff's attention, and it turns and it looks at your hand, and it is indeed distracted by the fresh blood that it can now smell. It's not
All right.
focusing on the pool of blood in the sand, though. You can see it's focused on essentially taking your hand off.
Well, that's what it wants to do. As my action, can I strike the Mastiff?
You can indeed roll to hit.
Does a 25 hit?
Oh, that definitely hits. Roll your damage.
Then with the blunt end of, oh my goodness, max damage, I'm going to do 12 bludgeoning damage, so I'm hitting with the blunt end of the battle axe.
As you hit it and strike it with the blunt end of your battle axe, you crack down on its skull, impounding it inwards. The beast is dead, outright killed, and it crumples to the floor with not even so much as a whimper.
And to end his turn, can he just rip the collar off its corpse?
You can indeed.
Then that I will do.
You hear a cry come up from the crowd around you as you strike the beast, and the crowd responds with a "Ooh, beast killer, beast killer!" And you hear the chant coming up from the crowds. You seem to have earned crowd favour in terms of brutality at this point in time. And as you continue to look around at the east stand where the official's arch is, you see the red clerk putting a strike into his red ledger. And a small smile creep across his face.
Very well. Then preparing to deliver the collar where it needs to go. That will be the end of Rosen's turn.
The other Mastiff, I need to do a measurement now. 25, 20. The other Mastiff is actually closer to you, Rosen. And it can smell the fresh scent of blood, and it is going to make its move, and it will charge up, and it will attempt to bite at your hand that is currently bleeding. Does a 20 hit?
It does indeed.
So you will take, max damage, 7 points of piercing damage as it chomps down and drags on your hand. If target is medium or smaller creature, you have the prone condition as it pulls you down to the ground.
That should down Rosen as well. The self-damage from before did add the strength modifier, right?
Yes.
Then that would down Rosen.
As you fall to the ground, the pain seemingly to be unbearable, you fall unconscious. And the crowd gasps. Octavia, roll a perception check for me at this point in time, please.
Can anyone tell me what it said? It's between a 14 and a 6.
It's a 14.
That's a
Okay.
14.
Plus 7. 21.
The first thing you notice with a 21 on your roll is the red clerk smiling even more as he puts another check in his little red ledger that he carries. The second thing you see is up on the east stand. Celia Vorst coming out from behind that gauze and standing on the parapet, leaning over and saying something to one of her aides next to her. What you can't make out, but lip reading you manage to capture. Obedient. Survive. But that's all you can capture from the lip read. As I believe it is now your turn, Octavia. What would you like to do?
Is the dog, the Mastiff, is it still trying to eat him, or has it just stopped?
Nope, it is still trying to consume Rosen's hand at this point in
Lord.
time.
Alrighty. Sorry, 1 second. I just need to see what I can. How much movement? I have 30 feet. Would that bring me up to
Yes, it would.
the? Okay. I am going to guiding bolt the Mastiff.
Absolutely.
So that it stops trying to eat Rosen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a 3 on the dice.
79. Okay, so 10. Does a 10 hit the Mastiff?
Mastiff's AC is 12, so
It will take.
unfortunately not.
So I'm just trying to see if it takes half damage.
Nope, it
No, it
missed.
doesn't. Okay.
Unfortunately.
Okay. Okay, that's okay. She has more in her. Whatchamacallit?
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you'd like to do, movement or otherwise?
Yeah, I'll move up there to try and get his attention, and then I will, if it comes for me, then not that it should, just because she is going to shed her skin though, as she moves up there to show that she does indeed not have blood coursing through her system. So if whatever skin that anybody around the area can see, it is pure bones and transparent. The only thing hiding the rest of her is her armor.
Mm-hmm. Very good. And with that, Rosen, we are at the top of the round, but before we get to your turn, the northwest amphoria has already tipped. As the second gong chimes, you hear Caldus repeating out to the crowd. 4 gongs remain. Octavia, roll me a d4, please.
A 2.
On a 2, the northeastern amphora spills, tips over gently, and begins spilling blood into the sluice beneath it. Whilst this is happening, allow me to draw on the map in red. The first channel has filled with blood and is beginning to come around the corners. The second one is just starting. Rosen, would you like to roll a death save? You do not have to tell us unless it is your third and final roll and you have died.
I rolled.
Perfect. The Mastiff looks at you, Octavia, and then looks back down at its meal. And it is going to bite down hard. Oh, your rolls are finally coming through, Rosen, just to let you know.
It's only the death saves.
It is going to bite down hard, obviously, because of you being prone and unconscious, it has advantage. But the question is, can it pierce your skin? And with a natural 20 for 23 to hit, it can indeed pierce skin and
Good
bone
Lord.
and armor. And that will be an automatic failed death save.
Indeed.
Octavia, it is your turn. And the crowd is seeing Rosen being mauled, and they are calling out to you, "Kill the beast! Kill the beast!" What are you going to do?
I'm gonna try guiding bolt again. Cross my fingers.
Go for it. Roll to hit. As you cast this guiding bolt upon the Mastiff.
Please tell me it has. 15 at base plus 7. So I'm assuming that hits.
That definitely hits. Roll your damage. And describe to us how you kill this beast.
Sorry, my rolls aren't adding up. So 2, 3, 7, 8. That is.
It only has 5 hit points.
Oh, okay. So her eyes are going to glow a very bright turquoise blue as a bolt comes up her sword and into her hand, and she's going to swing back her hand and she's going to release it like she's throwing it, and it's going to pierce through the Mastiff's chest, and you're going to see lightning strikes just absorbed around the dog. And it's basically going to shatter it like it was a porcelain animal.
Indeed, and you see the crowd sees this Mastiff explode from the inside out, as it does indeed shatter, the way you've just described it too. And a gong strikes. 3 gongs have been struck. 3 more remain. At the same time, nurses come out with a stretcher, now that the beasts have been slain, and they take Rosen back inside on the stretcher. For your next death saves, Rosen, you have advantage.
As he's being taken out, am I able to cast Spare the Dying on him?
You can indeed. I will allow that as a reaction on this round.
Okay.
How does it look to the crowd?
A blue orb basically comes out of her chest and is pushed into Rosen as he's being put onto the stretcher. And you can see him take a deep breath as he absorbs it, and he just falls silent. He's spared, but he cannot. He's basically spared, but still unconscious.
Fair enough. You no longer need to do death saves, Rosen.
Very well.
Apparently someone in the arena doesn't want you dead this day.
Not yet.
But I ask now that the Mastiffs are gone, dead, and laying there on the floor before you, with the crowd in roaring away, cheering you on. Octavia, what are you going to do?
I am going to, as quickly as possible, go pick up the golden pendant that was around the masfit and bring it to where it needs to go.
And indeed you do. As you pick up the clapper, you see the red and gold cloth wrapped around what was the collar that's now been pulled off. And you see what appears to be a brooch with a laurel mark, a golden laurel mark, embedded on this cloth. Something that shouldn't necessarily belong. Something that you spotted earlier.
Can I take it off? Will it? Okay.
You can indeed take it off. What you do with it is entirely up to you as you continue walking towards the gong. The big bell, the blood bell.
She's just going to pin it to herself.
Okay.
Now, since that she technically does not have, I guess she would have cloth on underneath of her. So she'll pin it underneath of her armor, though, not above.
Very well. You pick it up and you walk around, place the clapper into the bell. And I need you to roll me a strength check if you are going to indeed ring it to bring these first trials to an end.
15?
15 makes it. It's very heavy to swing. But you hear the chime of the bell deep and low ring around the arena as the first trial comes to an end. You have succeeded. The deputy herald steps out, and as he steps out, he takes one look at you. And he sees the pin that you have attached to yourself. Catching the light, the brass clasp, as it were, shaped like a roaring mouth with the laurel wrapped around it, with dried dark blood in its hinge. The herald calls out, "Well, the first successful trial of the blood bell has been wrought. Exactly as planned, with one casualty. But nonetheless, that casualty, we are pleased to announce, has survived and will be reappearing shortly in the next trial." But for now, let us celebrate this victory and move on. He gives you a very odd glare, once again looking more at the pin than anything else. Turns and walks out of the east stand as you enter back into your tunnels towards where you can rest. You all manage to take a short rest. The nurses use some various smelling salts and other bits to bring you back to consciousness, Rosen. And as they do so, if for your short rests, you may use your hit dice in order to recover any health, if you choose. Octavia, Rosen, you both
Mhm.
gain 1 level, so you are level 2 now. Make sure that you are doing your maximum HP. So if your hit dice is a d10, you simply add a d10 to you simply add 10 to your hit point total for your level up.
All right.
As you are walking back into your tunnel, Octavia, it's not just the sound of the bell that worried you, but with your ability and your perception, you also heard another chain underneath your feet. Not too far down. Pulling. Moving mechanically. Something that maybe it's just in preparation for the next trial. Who knows? But you head back in and you sit upon the stone bench in your small waiting room. And as you do so, your Lannister arrives. Seems you've earned the title of Beast Killers from the crowd. And from what I saw, I also noticed that you seem to have the favour of the Red Clerk. And Celine Vorst at the top has smiled for the first time these games. So you must have done something right to be able to tread that fine line between pleasing the officials and pleasing the crowd. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it, is my advice. But it also seems that it comes with a bit of a favour. They've granted you access to an armory, where if you choose you can upgrade your leather armour.
What's the catch?
There is no catch. Apparently you've pleased them well enough that they have opened up the armory for your defensive needs. And essentially the options that are available are same as what you're currently wearing, but with a +1 bonus to your armour. The Lannister explains to you. Seems that everything went according to plans, and Celine Vorst, who is running these shows, seems to be quite pleased with your performance out there. They wanted someone to go down, not necessarily die. They had money running on it, and it seems that you managed to fulfill her requests. So I do imagine that a lot of money was riding on that trial. Which would explain why that the armor has been opened for you. But that is all I can say. Besides, tea, refreshments. Do make sure that you're fit and well for the next trial and challenges, won't you?
Is Rosen back up and awake?
He would be at this point, yes.
Okay.
He's been quiet.
Is there anything you'd like to do during your short break between trials?
None right now.
Okay. Perfect. So with that, you killed both the animals. Urania has accepted the result enthusiastically. And various things have been moving in the background. And it is at this point, with the gate closed and you in the tunnel, in your little waiting area, the brass clasp that you hold now begins to feel a little heavier than the bell clapper ever did. Above, you can still hear the cheering of the crowd as they're being entertained and also celebrating your victory, with the crowd getting the blood that they wanted to see.
Oh, that wasn't a great debut, Rosen says as he looks over to Octavia.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely went askewed, but I'm glad you are all right.
You try and show a beast a little bit of mercy, and it tries to bite off more than it can chew.
I can only imagine what is coming for us. However, I still will not stand here and allow them to dictate how I am, what I am, and be their little toy. If they want blood, then I'll give them none. If they want none, I will shed everything that I see.
Right. So be it then. For now, I think we should just listen to what they want. Give them a show. And when it's reasonable that we deny them, we make it a little bit of a spectacle, we could indulge a little bit. I think that's a good idea. What about you, Octavia? It's all about looks at the end of the day. That's what all these people are for.
I say playing a game of charades is a grand idea, Rosen.
Right. Well, I think we should move on then, shouldn't we?
Yes, let's go find out what this next trial it is that they have planned for us.
Before we get there, the treatment chamber looks like it's been cleaned far too recently. The water is cleared, bandages are folded, and no attendants meeting your eye at this moment. And then a young bell rigger enters carrying a tray of tools. One thumb is wrapped in fresh linen, and she sets the tray down and adjusts a brass turning key and speaks without looking at either of you. Um, that that clasp was his. I I I put it where you would find it. You hear some footsteps pass outside, and she waits until they are gone. They took him beneath the east stand. Marius has ordered that the records be brought onto the sand next. What they place there today isn't meant to survive it. She finally looks up. If you want proof, do not let the red coffer reach the fire. And before you can answer, the arena above groans. Shelves seem to be turning, chains seem to be tightening, and a furnace opens up with sound like something taking its first breath. And she leaves without saying another word.
Think you want to share it with me, Octavia?
Pardon? Sorry?
Is there something you'd want to share with me?
What that I'm aware of? I have this pin that I found. While I was walking in, though, there seemed to be extra chains somewhere down below. They were moving. However, these trials, they seem to be involved, but maybe there's something else, something more that we need to do.
Conspiracy this early? I've only had a swat out here for maybe an hour. That'd be a bit much, but well, if they've got some politics in their games, I guess we'll humor them. You have any problems with that?
I do not. I would like to do the best that we can, but also I think we should possibly see what is beneath these floors as well at some point.
I'm sure we'll have our chance. But it seems like the crowd's tired of waiting, don't you think?
Yes, let's get on with it.
Okay. So, we move to the second trial. Let me just pull the map up. The treatment chamber closes behind you. The waiting area door slams shut. The portcullis comes down, and you are left in the tunnel outside of the arena once more. After that character disappeared, the only thing left after your discussion is to go back out onto the field. And the next gate into the arena rises on heat. A black iron chain crawls around the arena overhead, carrying 3 heavy coffers beneath it. One is gold, one is red, and one is black. At the north end, a furnace mouth burns white behind iron teeth. And at the south, a stone desk waits beneath the great bronze seal. 3 control stations stand around the sand: a west brake, an east selector wheel, and a north furnace damper. 2 brass-faced figures step from alcoves with keys chained to their belts. Just bear with me as I put the tokens onto the map for you. If I can actually spell today, that would be useful. As they step onto the sand either side of the places they were laying. Their mouths narrow. The mouths are like narrow coin slots, essentially, and their eyes ignite red. And Caldus then raises his slate, and Marius Crail, standing at the official's arch with his red gloves on, has already got his ledger open. Cunning is the art of knowing what has value before the fire decides for you. Caldus points to the gold coffer. Within that account is the proof of your victory. Bring it to the seal of the sand and stamp it before the 7th toll, and the arena will recognize mines fit to stand behind blades. The red coffer moves one link closer to the furnace. Other accounts are false, trapped, or condemned. The wise do not save what the arena has ordered burned. The coffers will move at initiative 20. And it is up to you how you wish to try and save these items. To begin with, as always with these trials, let's have you start with your initiative rolls, please. Oof.
You saw that?
Yeah,
It's both 3.
What did you roll? Sorry, 3.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay. So with your initiatives, you will act second after the 2 clockwork sculptures, constructs that are here. But within the arena, you can see the south gate, which is your entrance, and the stamping dais, and the bronze seal that stamps any open ledger that is placed beneath it as an action. You see the overhead chains, the rectangular loop 15 feet above the sand. You see the open white hot furnace with a lowering cradle attached to it. You see a long iron lever marked by worn handprints. And you see a brass wheel with 3 coloured teeth. You see counterweighted iron shutters beside the furnace. And you see the chain cradle above the southeast quarter as well. And 2 shallow recesses where the clockwork figures have stepped out from. These constructs are known as tallymen, essentially.
Very
But
well.
it is up to you. As the first of the tallymen steps towards the lever. The second steps out towards the stamping dais. Rosen, as you have the higher decks, what would you like to do?
As I'm gonna shout out to Octavia, got any ideas? Can you blast the thing down? Or just anything, Octavia.
I believe I can actually put out the fire. If you can distract the whatever those little machines are.
Well, if that's all you need me to do, then consider it done. As Viren, readying his battle axe, dragging it across the sands, is going to run up to Scout A and go for a strike upon them.
Okay. Roll your attack then.
Does a 14 hit?
A 14 on these does indeed hit. Please roll your damage.
Then they will take 11 slashing damage.
Absolutely.
Can I use Topple to force them to roll a con save, or they'll be knocked prone?
You can indeed.
As I'm aiming at the legs, attempting to sweep it under with a one-handed wide slash. I'd like a con save DC 14.
DC 14 con save. And it fails, unfortunately.
As I sweep the legs out from under it, cutting small cuts in them, knocking it prone. As Viren at the ready has his shield, it will stand over it with a crooked smile. I will end my turn.
As you indeed knock it prone, you hear a roar from the crowd. It seems like the entertainment that you are providing is doing yourself a favour here with the crowd and getting them worked up. Octavia, what would you like to do?
How far is she currently from the fire?
Currently, if we were to use a measuring stick on this, you are 35 feet. 40 feet from the actual furnace itself.
40 feet? Okay. So as a bonus action, first she's going to moment to think. So she's going to freeze time for her 6 seconds and move 30 feet to the left-hand side of the furnace so that she's within range, if that's possible.
Yep. I'm just putting some labels on the things so that you can tell which chest is which. So just bear with me as I do this as well. What did you roll again? Sorry.
I just movement. So it was moment to think to freeze time so that she can move 30 feet without being.
Yes. Okay.
And then as her action, she wants to create 10 gallons of water.
Fair enough.
And haul ass at that fire.
As you begin to cast your creates water to haul it over the fire. Describe how this looks.
Her hands are going to mimic sort of like a oracle as she, or an airbender almost, waterbender, as her hands circle each other, this massive pile of water just accumulating over and over. It grows from the tiniest raindrop, almost looking, to a massive 30 cube foot of 10 gallons of water. And as it gets to its most biggest size, she's going to hold it there for a second, making sure that she has control. And she's going to, almost like pitching a ball in a baseball tournament, she's going to throw it at the flames. But more so, not necessarily on top where the highest flames are, but she is going to douse where the embers are to make sure that they go out without the water evaporating first.
Fair enough. As you do this, the flames do indeed disappear briefly. You realize very quickly that this is not an ordinary coal burning furnace. No, this is a methane gas that has been siphoned and funneled from the tunnels and the sewer systems beneath the city itself, harnessed and brought here in a controlled manner to light this furnace. Though your water has indeed doused out the flames temporarily, you have 4 rounds before it will reignite.
Would she understand this? Like, could she see like the maybe like a pilot light down below to give her warning that it will come back?
You would indeed understand this, yes.
Okay. She's going to turn to Rosen as she stands.
Not so much
I've
as a
gotten it down. Oh,
pilot. Not so much a pilot light, but more a rotating mechanism at the back, which is of like a flint and steel that is constantly spinning and striking in order to relight any flames that go out.
okay. Rosen, I've gotten us a spare bit of time, but the fire will come back. We need to act quickly.
And focus on getting the boxes down. I'll deal with these shortly.
Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
The bell tolls. And you see that the chests indeed move somewhat. 2 and 3. And the gold chest is currently hanging over the furnace, which is currently doused. And the clockwork bronze scout, having been attacked, gets up, uses half of its movement to do so, takes one look at you, and without any emotion, without any fear, without any deliberation, it strikes. Not with a sword, but with what appears to be lightning. I need a dexterity saving throw from you, Rosen. DC is 13.
A dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You take half of the damage it deals. So that's 4 points of lightning damage as this electricity seems to arc, striking your blade, and you gain a small shock from it.
Very well.
That will be the end of its turn, and it is the clockwork bronze scout above, the tallymen as they call them, who leans on the lever as is his duty. And as he does so, you see the gold chest lowering down into what would have been a raging furnace. But you put the flames out. And as he releases the lever, the chest comes back up on the chain, unharmed. Rosen, what are you doing?
I'm going to strike the clockwork scout in front of me.
Go for it. Roll your attack.
An 8.
As you try to strike at it, it seems to have read your movements, and it shuffles itself to the side, little awkwardly, but it shuffles to the side nonetheless. And you miss.
Very well. Then I'm going to place my own hand on my chest and cast Lay on Hands to heal myself.
Mm-hmm. Go
As this
for it.
radiant light I'm going to use it to heal myself for, let's say, 8 hit points.
Brilliant.
And with readying the shield, Viren's turn is through.
So, Octavia, what are you doing?
Can she tell, by the way that the mechanisms go, that on the next round that chest will move along?
Yes.
Okay. Because that gives her a little bit of stuff on it. Okay. She is going to inflict. Oh, that doesn't. We're not going to do that. I'm not touching that thing. I'm going to point at the character, the Clockwork Bronze Scout B.
Yep.
And cast Toll of the Dead.
Okay.
On it. It has a wisdom. It has to do a wisdom saving throw.
It does indeed. I think that fails.
Is that a 4? Yes, that fails. So it's only going to take 1 damage.
And it is currently unharmed, so I believe that is halved for 1 point of damage.
It just doesn't change.
Yep. That is frustrating. But nevertheless.
And that's pretty much all that I'm going to do movement wise for my turn. Could I roll like a skill for like insight or perception to see if I can notice anything that's on top of that's holding the chest or around it that would be something to stop things?
Of course you can. Roll a perception check for me.
Okay. 15.
On a 15, you spot the following. The red coffer is currently passing a cradle that will allow it to be lowered. On its next turn, it will be stopping in there. You notice that with the gold, the gold coffer is going to move around to another cradle shortly, and that will be next turn. It will arrive there. I really should get the spacing on these correct, so I do apologize here. That would be the correct spacing. My map was slightly squiffy. The red coffer will be moving to the cradle that's in the southeast, with the gold coffer moving to roughly where the red cradle is, that will allow it to be lowered to the ground safely. The cradle in the south is directly over or directly next to the dais where the seal stamp is, and you'll see that the black coffer will be moving up to where the gold coffer currently is. You notice that the 2 levers that are here could both potentially be pulled. However, to lower the gold one down safely at its current location, you first need to find a weight that will raise the platform up to attach itself to the base of the gold coffer before releasing that weight from the small platform next to it.
Okay. Can I relay this information to Rosen?
I will allow it, yes, but keep it within 25 words because you only have 6 seconds.
Okay. We need to find a weight to get one of the chests down, and they are coming up to the levers that we need to lower them to the ground.
How heavy would you say one of these scouts is?
Oh, now you're asking. So the weight of one of these scouts would be, if you're looking at the platform that's on the floor beside it, you reckon any one of you could probably stand on it, and that would activate the mechanism. And that would include the use of a clockwork scout, if you chose to.
Very well.
And that ends my turn.
And that brings us to the second gong. As it chimes. First of all, the red coffer and the gold coffer hit the potential cradle spots, as does the black coffer hitting the furnace spot. Looking around the arena as the gong chimes, you're hearing the crowd roar and counting down as the gong strikes, as the bells toll. And you find that Marius, standing there, the red clerk, is looking a little unhappy at this moment in time. There might be a look of worry in his eye, one would say. But it is the Bronze Scout first. And he is going to, first of all, attempt to strike out. This says bite, but it's fine. It's not a bite, it's a strike. With his fists. Does a 14 hit your armor class?
Unfortunately not, as it's blocked by Rosen's shield. God, I want to play this so badly, don't I?
You do. It's all good. If you want to meet Viren, tune into Of Dice and Destiny. But that's another story in this world. For now, this is the Games of Glory, and his attack misses you, and he begins to step backwards a little bit.
If he moves out of my range, can I use my reaction against him?
Clockwork does not provoke opportunity attacks.
All right.
Normally that would apply to this particular model when it burrows, but in this case it doesn't burrow. So I've just got the wrong token for the right thing. Don't worry. It's the same stats, but it doesn't produce opportunity attacks.
All right. Then he'll wait.
And it is the next Clockwork's turn, as he once again pulls on the leather and the black chest lowers into what would have been a furnace. And as he steps back and releases the lever, it rises up again, unharmed. Unchanged. Rosen, your go.
Rosen's gonna hit this thing if it's the last action he makes.
Go for it.
It does an 18 hit.
That definitely hits.
Excellent. May I add a smite on top of this?
You can indeed, as you have declared it before your damage and results have been rolled.
Then, I will roll for that. A 7 plus Divine Smite. Another 7. As Viren's charging it with his battle axe, a sort of searing, glowing heat is coating the edge, as if coated in burning oil, but this is an energy foreign to the physical plane, as it's a sort of radiance. Striking into this thing, I do 7 slashing damage and 7 radiant damage.
As you strike it, this clockwork figure in front of you appears to have a few bolts springing out. Clockwork seems to be scraping against other clockwork inside it. It seems to be pretty hurt. Perhaps its movements may even be slowing down slightly. This is blooded.
Very well. With that, I think I'm going to move between it and Octavia. I don't trust where it's going, so I'm going to move in front of it to block its path intentionally.
Very well. As you move to block its path,
Octavia, could you give me a hand with this one, please?
what are you doing, Octavia?
One bronze shrimp coming up.
The crowd picks up as it hears you say that. Bronze shrimp! Put a shrimp on the Barbie!
I'm gonna put the shrimp on the Barbie. She will listen and help Rosen, and she is going to. Is she close enough to touch it?
No, you'd have to move 5 feet to get in range to touch. I believe
Okay.
that's about 5 foot. 5 to 10
Okay.
feet.
Okay, she will just cast Holy Word upon it.
Mhm.
Does a 10? No, I think it's 12, right?
Nope, that's a 10.
No, sorry, your things are 12, right?
My things are 13 on the AC.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought.
The Mastiff was 12.
Okay. I knew something was 12 somewhere around here.
Unfortunately, your holy word seems to have no effect. Or at least not the desired effect that you were looking for.
That is very well indeed. Okay, well then. So I've I've never played a cleric before which has like weapons. As a bonus action, I can do a 2-weapon fighting. What is that?
2-weapon fighting, did you say?
Yes.
Basically, if you are holding 2 weapons, one in each hand, you can use both.
Oh, but you have to attack with the first weapon, and then as a bonus action, you get to hit twice.
Yes, correct.
I got you. Okay, that's fine. She's just going to look apologetic at Rosen, but use her movement to go towards the one lever. If that's the lever with the hands on it.
The one with the hands on it, that's not a lever, that's just part of the thing. No, the lever that you're looking for, I should be able to ping it, is over that side, as that's the one that will lower the gold chest. And then this crank here will lower the cradle with the red chest on it.
Are those the only two levers to lower the chest?
The other lever is at the top in the north, and that is where the Clockwork Bronze Scout is currently.
Okay, and the red one is coming through. Okay, she is going to...
The red one is in a position to be lowered, as is the gold one at the moment.
She will go towards the red lever as far as she can go. So 30 feet.
That lever is unfortunately, or the crank for it is 40 feet. 30 feet will get you just before it. Do you still have your bonus action? Because if so, you could dash.
Okay, I will dash then that direction.
Very good. As you dash towards the crank, you've already used your action. You've used your bonus action and your movement now. So you will have to wait until next turn in order to use it.
Okay.
Which is fine, as it is now the next round. And the gong, the bell tolls once again. I believe this is the fourth toll now, as Caldus begins to repeat the official objective. Don't forget, you're here to collect the gold coffer and claim your victory in a trial of cunning. And the coffers move. This one comes round. The gold one arrives, and the black one lands on the platform that will also allow it to be lowered should you choose. This bronze scout has had enough and doesn't like Rosen being in its way. It had a job to do. And you have thoroughly annoyed it. And its logical brain is telling it that it needs to remove a problem. So it is going to try and strike at you once more. Rosen, does a 21 hit you finally?
Indeed it does.
As it strikes and hits out at you, it deals 4 points of piercing damage. And
smiles.
3 points of lightning damage.
Very good.
And then it takes a step back. Next up, the other Clockwork Bronze Scout here, the Tallyman. Seeing what is happening, seeing that someone is about to lower the objective. These things are but only programmed, and you can hear the crowds roaring as the bronze scout begins to turn. This tallyman. What's its distance to Octavia? 20 feet. As it drags itself through the sands behind Octavia and strikes her in the hopes of preventing her from lowering this gold chest. And its strike will be the lightning flare from its left arm, essentially. Can I get a dexterity saving throw, please, from you, Octavia? You need to beat a 13.
Just a 19.
Oh, yeah, that saves. So you take half of the 15 points of damage, which would be 8. 8 total points of lightning damage as it strikes you in the back. And that will be the end of its turn. Rosen.
What would Rosen have to do to get the gold chest down? Just move the lever or something more?
Octavia is currently at the crank that would lower the gold chest.
Right.
You would have to get there and begin to turn the crank shaft to pull it down.
Very well. So Octavia's going to do that on her turn then.
Save the red one.
Octavia, could you roll just a d20 for me, please? This is
If I
going to
get a
determine
1 and my symbiote takes over, this is your fault.
it's going to determine whether or not Rosen goes to save you by attacking the Scout B or finishing off Scout A.
19.
What would you prefer he do then, Octavia? Roll out to him. B or A?
That's a good question. Go for B. A is already slightly damaged and its movements are hindered. I believe we were easier to take that down between the both of us. We need to get Scout B also down to that area if we can.
What size are these creatures? Are they medium?
They are medium, yes.
Seeing that the bronze Scout B is about to attack my teammate Octavia, Rosen's going to go for a charge, and then can I attempt to grapple them in sort of a tackle?
Okay. Go for it.
Then I'm going to roll athletics. 15 on the dice.
And for the clockwork, that would be a simple strength save, I believe.
Or it'd be in opposed athletics or acrobatics.
Yeah. In terms of that, he doesn't have any skills in that sense. But he rolls a 17 on his strength save.
Very well.
So he does not become grappled or otherwise restrained by yourself and breaks free.
Very well. Is there any room for Rosen to move between them and Octavia? I don't believe so.
This moment, no. You would literally be standing on top of Octavia if you tried. I mean,
Then
you're more than welcome to try and balance on her shoulders, but I wouldn't recommend it.
I don't know if she's got the carrying capacity for that. But
probably not.
That will end my turn there.
Excellent. Octavia, what are you doing this turn?
I have a question on what I could possibly do. I don't know if it would be allowed. I want to stay basically, I guess, where I am.
Yes.
Can I throw a bolt at the lever across from me that would lower the red chest to disable it, break the chain, break it, do something?
The red chest is not at a lowerable position. The only two
No,
that
sorry. So the red chest is all over on the left. I want to hit the mechanism that lowers it when it gets to the furnace. That's directly behind me.
Very well. You could try, but it would be unsuccessful. And
Okay.
I will tell you that straight. It is a physical lever that needs to be moved in order to lower it.
Alrighty. So then, okay, so as long as we keep them here with us, then that should. Alrighty. If I pull the lever, does that take away my spell action?
Yes. Pulling,
Okay.
using this crank to get the gold chest down will be an action.
Okay, so I will pull that.
Okay, as you begin to pull the crank, it is hard work. I need a strength check from you, please.
She's not good at these. 10.
You manage to begin lowering it, but you feel your grip slipping. And you accidentally release it back up, and the chain pulls taut once more.
Okay. Can I reach behind me and slap the creature with a lesser restoration and knock it prone? Or paralyzed? Or deafened or blinded?
From a lesser restoration? Probably
Yes.
not.
It is within my bonus actions.
Yeah, but I don't think a lesser restoration will work the way you think it does.
Oh, never mind. We're just going to stay there. I did not read that properly. Forgo that.
Fair enough. I will allow it. If you want to do something else...
Can I churn, please? So that I'm facing the...
Yep, absolutely. Turning on the spot's a free action. Free movement.
Perfect. That way I'm prepared for if it tries to attack again.
Very well. But that is the end of the round. I also believe that that is 4 rounds, correct?
Yes.
The furnace finally manages to re-spark, and it is relit once more. And the clockwork scout, the tallyman that was there, sees that its original duties need to be performed once again, as the red chest moves around. First of all, the bronze scout moves up, and it moves to attack Rosen as it comes in behind you, still failing its bloody recharge. It is going to simply strike out at you, and with a natural 1 in its sorry state that it is, it fails to find its target. In fact, you actively see bits of it breaking off as it tries. The second one, which was given a duty, is only 20 feet from the lever, and it will move. and it will lower the red chest. And as it lowers the red chest, you see the chest begin to catch and burn. As the chain heats around it, the wood of the chest begins to smoulder and you see it fall into the furnace. As the lever is released and the chain comes up without the chest on it. Looking around, you see from the red clerk a huge smile and grin come across his face as he checks something off in his ledger. The red chest no longer exists as it has been burned in the furnace. There may be a turn left. You might be able to salvage something from it, if you choose.
Not at all.
Then Rosen, it is your turn.
With that, history's burned yet again. Fine. I wouldn't let you be scout, but it seems I've already made an enemy of you. Fine. I'm gonna strike it with my battle axe again.
Roll to hit. Oh, that hits.
25. It's not
Yep.
bad. 11.
As you strike this clockwork sculpt, the tallyman, how do you want to kill it?
I want to break off its legs, prevent it from moving. So from there, I can easily grab its body while it still maintains some semblance of function, though not enough to resist Rosen's pull.
Very good. As you swipe away its legs from underneath him, chopping them off, breaking them off more to the point, and you have this torso of a clockwork body in your hands, you see the light in its eyes fade.
With a smile, Rosen's gonna drop his battle axe and grab the body and start to drag it to the furnace. He's gonna shout to the crowd, "Is this what you wanted? You wanted this beast to burn."
The crowd responds with a roar, shouting over the top, "Shrimp on the Barbie! Shrimp on the Barbie!"
Then there it will be, as I'm going to throw the corpse of this clockwork beast into the fire, dousing the history that was unwritten by the Colosseum with it, as I give a look not just to the crowd, but those overlooking us, the powers from above.
Fair enough.
And with my remaining movement, I'm going to move adjacent to the clockwork bronze scout. I know I can't move between it or the lever, but I'll get as close as possible to it with my shield donned and my other hand free.
Yes,
I will
absolutely.
end my turn there.
Octavia, then, what are you doing at this point in time?
A slight horrified look is going to cross her face as the red chest is being burned. She is going to repeat her first attempts or first actions at the beginning of this.
Yep.
And use her movement and her water to douse the flames.
Fair enough. As you do so, roll a d4 for me.
A 1.
You douse the flame, and for one round, you have put the flame out temporarily.
She's gonna she's not going to do any other actions, but she is, however, going to look directly at the red cloak person,
Yes.
that had a nasty smile on his face, and a grin is going to expand across her face with the slightest smirk attached to it.
Very good.
And that is the end of her round.
Top of the round, the two remaining chests move around. And the gold chest is now over the now doused furnace. And the Clockwork Scout is going to continue its directive it was given. And it is going to drop the lever. And the gold chest will come down. But it will not meet any flame. But, as you all know, this isn't all that happens at the top of the round. And let me find... Sorry, I've been moving about on the page and I need to find the instruction once again for the next part of this, as we are now on the 6th. Nope. Yeah, we're on the 6th bell. So, with the 6th bell ringing, there is but one more bell to go. You see the crowd rise. And you see them calling out, telling you to get a move on, telling you there's only one more bell before this fails. They seem to want you to win. Actively trying to encourage you. The Clockwork Scout simply lowers and raises the chest. And Rosen, it is your turn.
Would there be any way Rosen could get the chest off of the chain at its current elevation?
You could potentially pull the chest down again with the lever that's in front of you.
If I were to use my glaive that has a reach of 10 feet, could I attempt to cut it down?
The chain sits 15 feet off of the sand.
Or too much for me then? Then my next question, based on how the chest had been moving, by the time Viren's next turn comes around, would the gold chest be at a point where it could be lowered? If Viren were to go back to the lever, would that provide anything of use?
As was noted earlier, that is a plate in the floor that will raise and lower this mechanism here. The mechanism has an attachment at the bottom that seems to attach itself to the base of each of these chests that you wish to pull down. So it is possible next round. However, between this round and the next round, you will need to get the ledger that's in the gold chest, the victory papers, as it were, over to the seal stamp.
So I don't have time then. Very well. Viren's gonna yell out to Octavia, get ready to grab the papers, I'm gonna pull the lever down. As when she is in position, I'm going to have a ready action to pull the lever. down.
Very well. I would say that this can all occur roughly at the same time, as the pair of you are next to each other in the turn order here. So if you wish to pull that lever down, oddly enough, holding it down might keep it down. But if you wish to pull that lever down, roll me a strength check, please.
Could I barter it to be an athletics check?
I will allow it.
Thank you. An 11. Ooh.
You have the roar of the crowd encouraging you. It almost seems like they're trying to will you on as they cheer for your success. Come on, you've got this! With a crowd favour. Nay, with an official favour. You hear the call from Marius, the Red Clerk. And the Clockwork Bronze Scout leans forward onto the lever with you. It's not breaking its directive it was given. Its job was to make sure that that lever was lowered each round. If the furnace is available, which it is. And as it lowers the chest, with you, with your help, Octavia, are you grabbing the papers? The chest is unlocked.
I am, and if it's not enough movement, I will Misty Step.
Let's get the measuring stick out, as between you and the stamp is 20 feet of distance.
And I have 30 feet of movement.
That is correct. So you have plenty of movement to get there.
Okay. Then she will do that immediately upon the chest opening.
The chest opens, you grab the papers, and you dash across the sands, knowing that that seventh bell is literally about to chime as you manage to get the papers underneath the stamp and you smash it down. You pull on the brass lever and it seals with a golden laurel. As it rises up, you hear the seventh bell toll, and you hold up the papers, declaring you have won. Just in the nick of time.
Can she go back to the furnace?
Say that again, Octavia?
Sorry. Is she able to go back to the furnace before it ignites?
I would say so.
Can she roll a perception to see if she can notice anything that did not get burnt from the red chest?
Roll an investigation check for me.
18.
On an 18, as you look in, you see that the red chest is all but burnt away. It is mostly charcoal and ash now. There are a couple of damp pages, and the only thing that really seems to have survived is maybe a corner of the ledger cover. It was leather. That's a little bit tougher than the rest of the pages that needed to burn. But that is it. That is all you have.
Do I notice any markings on it or anything like that?
Not on this corner, I'm afraid.
Okay.
It does seem whatever evidence that you were warned about has been burned. As you make this realization, allow me to get to the next part. As you make this realization, the bronze seal fallen, the ashes searched, the impact rings through the stone desk, and your names on the sheet with a golden laurel stamp appear in hot metal across the victory plate of the papers. Coldus lifts both of his hands, and as he does so, he calls out to the crowd, "The account is closed. The arena recognizes minds worthy of the laurel." Marius is not watching the gold book. He's watching your hands, your armor, and every place that could have hidden a red ledger. And he is smiling. And above him, the three champions are on their feet, and the black draped fourth chair still remains empty. You can hear the crowd cheering the victory, as if they're celebrating the fact that these games don't seem to be fixed for once. At least as far as they can tell. Challenges of a suitable level. And you hear the call of the crowd. Cunning beast killers. Successful, it seems. The crowd think you are winning the games, not surviving them. As you go back to your resting quarters, the clockwork scout deactivates itself, and the arena is being cleared away, made ready for the next set of challenges. The guards march you both through a passage beneath the champion's gallery. And as you pass the east wall, something strikes iron 3 times from below you. Not a random rattle, a rhythm. The same rhythm the champions were beating against their screen during your last trial. And then that same young girl appears behind a barred service door for one breath. "They've put a black laurel on him," she says. "They'll call him traitor. They'll tell you glory means taking the crown while he dies." One of the guards turns, but before he could see who or what was whispering to you, she's gone. And just ahead of you, the last gate begins to open, and the crowd starts calling for the trial of glory. You are seated on a stone bench just inside the waiting area. Before the game begins. You each go up another level. So you should now be at level 3. entering
Indeed.
into the next arena.
Do we get a short rest?
This is a short rest. If you wish to use your hit dice, you can.
I indeed will.
There are no long rests until the next day, when you fight in the Arena of Champions, should you reach it.
Well, it's good to see he's now got a goal.
But you have moments in which to discuss and talk amongst yourselves for a minute.
So, what's next for us then? What do you think they have in store for us?
At one
Yet,
point, I thought I knew, but at this point, they seem to be throwing things at us from different angles.
Well, that's what makes a good game.
That is very true.
If it were all simple, I'm proud to grow bored. Wouldn't want that. How would we?
Definitely not be. Although we should keep ourselves on our toes. That was very close to us ending not where we needed to be. At least none of us died, though. I will keep that as a hand clap, pat on the back, if you might.
A good thing, right?
Yes.
We lived this time. Don't know if we'll
Let's
be so lucky as the next. As I will
keep
be
it that
running
way.
back. Viren's taking a moment to clean off his weapons, polish out the scrapes from the bronze, and I'll be back shortly.
fair enough. As you are polishing off your weapons, cleaning them off, and getting yourselves ready for the next round of trial, your Lannister comes up to you and he says, "Don't know what's happened here. This isn't the normal gate. Normally for
What
this
do you mean? Oh, sorry.
fair enough. Normally for this trial, it would be the north gate you would enter. But they've brought you back around to the south gate once again. All I can say is this. For some unknown reason, the person overseeing these games this year, Celine Vorst, seems to be remarkably pleased with you and your team. And she has made sure that you have an official favor from, well, from your patron. So your patron has arranged for a boon in your next trial. A boon based on a condition. And he wants to know if you'll accept it or not. As does Celine Vorst herself.
Well, that, my good sir, is a 2 question, not just a 1. So if we can wait a moment until my fellow companion comes back, I believe it should be discussed between the both of us. If you care to repeat it when he gets back.
Absolutely.
I've returned.
So, because of your wonderful display. As I was just explaining to Octavia here, you've both earned an official favour. One from Celine Vorst via your patron, who is offering you a boon this round. That boon could be anything within the confines of the next challenge. Your official favour options that has been discussed are as follows. First of all, a gate could be jammed. The second option is that one of the two braziers can be lit on the third round by way of an official favour and an accident occurring upon the field, where a certain spark is made. Those are the options you've been offered. Both
Jam
of
the gate.
which will make things a little easier.
What will be coming from the gate then?
My,
Beast?
my understanding is it would be a clockwork horror, the likes of which this arena has not seen and has freshly been imported from the ember foundries of Viridia.
Viridia. Think I've heard of one of my own going there. No matter. Then, question for you. It's never been seen before. That's correct.
Correct.
So none of the people here have seen one of them die?
That
You'd
is
say?
also correct.
Now, if they were to offer a favor outside the offers they've already made, could they guarantee that the scouts wouldn't get in the way when I handle that horror and face it for the crowd? Or is that too much to ask?
There would be two scouts. That would be too much to ask. One of them might be able to serve a malfunction. Two would be suspicious.
If only one is removed, then that is more than acceptable.
I agree.
Very well.
And let or come. Let's see what they have for us.
Now for the condition. You go for the laurel. You defeat what you must, what you can. You light both braziers. That will lower the laurel to the ground. You grab the laurel. The prisoner is of no consequence and is due to be executed regardless. If you don't execute him here, he will be executed elsewhere. Beheaded, in fact, immediately after the tournament. If
Very well.
you rescued him. You grab the laurel once it is lowered and you leave.
Xavier,
That
can I trust
is the
you to light
condition.
this? Can you play with fire for me while I handle some of these threats they send our way?
I can definitely heat up some metal.
Then I'll leave it to you to heat the cauldrons and get them ablaze. I tend to face that horror, and hopefully you'll be by my side.
Very well. I will take my leave. And he turns and walks out of the waiting area. Any last-minute conversations you wish to have?
Octavia, I don't know how
Yes.
far you want to go here, but one of those that were watching us over the stands, I intend to make sure their blood stains these sands. That's my goal here. Just one more time now that it's just you and I. What do you really want out of this?
I want freedom, Rosen. I was
Freedom.
sent here by the gods from above as their pet, their plaything. They want me to fight and do their bidding. However, I don't wish to agree with them, but I do want my freedom. If I make my way through this, I will earn it. And basically, shove a finger up theirs so that
Roll
they
a
have no
religion
control
check.
over me.
Roll a religion check for me.
Okay.
I've been waiting for this.
19 plus 23. Nope, plus 6.
19 plus 6.
25.
25.
So 25.
Indeed, as you are mentioning these words, you do feel a connection to the god that has sent you as a pet. Indeed, you do receive a message at this point from the god. Not just any god. Female god. And the voice soft as day. The man in the middle is innocent. Save him by all costs.
Well, that put a dampers on thing, doesn't it, Rosen?
Do I
We
hear
have
that?
No, I'm about to tell you. Sorry, I'm assuming because I heard that in my head.
Yeah.
I guess. Oh well, I should say I'm not sure if they liked my speech or not, but the one that has sent me down here has said that the man in the middle is innocent. So
So
who do we
what?
want to go against?
So what if he's innocent? No one's truly innocent in this land, mind you. This land favors war, slavery, slaughter for entertainment. Not even a commoner is truly innocent here. You told me that you didn't want to be their plaything anymore. Did here I brazenly catch you acting and ready to act upon their whim? Do you even consider it an option to save him? He may be innocent by their words, but what good are their words compared to mine, to yours, to those holding the ledgers? Do you really want to save him? After you just gave me a speech about how you didn't want to be under their control anymore. I intend to kill that man, innocent or not. There's not a single good soul in these lands. My brother saw to it that I knew that to be true. And if it is between me and the blood of that who's wronged me on the sands, if that man's poor life is in the way, then so be it. That is the cost he will have to pay.
How
Anyway,
about this? Oh, sorry.
go
Your
on.
choice.
How about this? Not that I wish to be their toy and do as they say. However, my being is about protecting the people on this land. And though I agree with you that no one is innocent, for I am one of those that who is not innocent, and I'm sure there are some things about you that are not so innocent as well. However, I would not like to take one word of up above or down below on whether or not this person is innocent in general, and I would ask that you allow me to just speak to them. And if they do not give us a relatively okay answer, I will encourage you to slit their throat and watch the blood leak down to the sand.
Octavia, words are a tool the wicked use to control the weak. Don't tell me you'll let your choice be swayed by the words of one chained. You need to
Well,
remember that even if your gods have motives, gods are better left revered, not welcomed. It's the blood of man here in this land that sculpts stories into the sands. Don't let your patrons manipulate that. This is as much of hollow ground as any. Don't let foreign gods taint it with their footsteps, their presence.
Rosen, I beg of you, how how would you point that I should not, which you are correct, listen to my gods? But why would that push me to listen to a mortal being, someone else who is demanding of us to kill this person? Why would I want to do what one person says while disobeying another person? I believe to me that this is something that I wish to decide for myself, for I don't want to follow one person and obey them like a toy of someone else. I agree with you that things need to happen. However, I should not just forego one person's saying just to listen to another's, for we don't know who is telling the truth or what may happen in the course should we follow one versus the other.
Why, you ask?
Why
This is
is
the
why I asked.
games of glory. Glory is the story we will write onto the sand. And if it is one man, machine, or divine soul's blood that is the cost of that, then so be it. You want your freedom. This is how. The gods will toy with you as long as you like. And even just a hint of speculation, of hesitation, of doubt not only shatters your faith, but it also will prove to them that you're still within their reigns. I understand you don't want some charlatan to order you around, to tell you to kill who they want to kill, and to spare what they believe must be spared. But we're in the games of glory now. We don't exactly have the choice to think. You know my goals, and I now at least understand a fraction of yours. You want freedom? Then that man's life might just be the cost. And is really investigating, if you're so high and mighty and you're to protect the people, what decides that that man's life that they say is guilty is worth more than mine? I'll tell you I'm not a good person. I'll tell you I've taken lives, innocent or not, by purpose and by accident. But what gives you the power to decide that that man's life is worth more than mine? Because by sparing him, you choose that my life will be taken instead. Because you know you've got something waiting hereafter. Something that I don't have. So what makes you so sure, Octavia, that that's the right path? To decide based off of words, the tools that the gods have given man to fool themselves and the divine themselves? In the life of someone who's here working alongside you, who's put the cards on the table and given them to your hand. Gives you the right to choose that. What makes it so just to hear their story and make your choice? This isn't our game. It's not our story to tell. That man out there is dead. Will you really save a dead man walking to condemn another to the same fate? Really, Octavia?
Tell me, Rosen, you say that I have to choose whether you die or not, and how dare I push that my choice of who I wish to live or die may kill you. However, I made sure in the very beginning that your life was indeed spared in the very beginning. So please do not think otherwise, that I would want you dead or not. However, this man is supposedly up for death row one way or another. Whether we free him, whether we not get him down, or whether we kill him straight on the grounds of the sand, he is dead. They have said that he will be committed to the heavens well before anything happens. You are asking me to choose one or another, but yet you're also saying, why choose one or the other? Don't come and allow the gods to toy with me and to push my wanting to save him. But also at the same time, you are pushing that we just straight out murder him. I am not asking for you to choose one or the other, Rosen. I am asking for a brief moment in between of when we get the option to simply hear him out. Hear out the words of which he has to say, for that will not change a single thing should it matter. If nothing matters, then the blade of your sword will go through his throat with ease, and none will be the wiser of what had happened. However, if there is somehow, somewhere, a chance that maybe something could come about this, I would rather know that I gave it a 5-second choice than not at all. On the side table, with my 25, was I able to hear if there was like a mocking tone in my goddess's voice, or like if it was um slightly genuine at all?
I would say with your 25, the message you received was genuine, without any doubt, without any hesitation. It was
Okay.
the purest a message has ever been.
Okay. She's gonna go back to Rosen. You want to win this game. You want to play the games of glory. And I am with you on that. I will be with you on that. However, killing him, as said, was not how to win. We had to do the selective stuff up to that. And he did say whether or not we chose to kill him on the spot or release him, he would then be executed at a later time. So I am not stopping you, nor am I hindering you or us from continuing on with the games of glory. For I am just asking for a moment of time in between executions on whether or not that be from us or from them, that I get to the bottom of a question that has come about from two different parties, from up above and down below.
Then, one question that Joel will give you. You get one chance. Ask the question and judge. Joel will give you.
She's just going to bow her head to Rosen.
Okay.
Leave the formalities. Let's get a move on already.
Indeed.
Now, no time to be Mr. Snotty.
For your speeches, for your conversations, you are both going to be awarded an inspiration die. Before we continue.
Very well.
The last gate opens on gold light. Two great braziers wait at the eastern and western edges of the sand, and between them channels cut into stone glow with banked fire. At the south stands a tall torch in a bronze candle, its flame perfectly still. At the centre, above a black well, an iron judgment frame holds a masked prisoner on his knees, and a black laurel is locked around his throat, and a golden laurel hangs above him, just beyond reach. There are 2 clockwork scouts standing either side in the opposite quadrants to where you are. And they both look at you, eyes ignited with a red glow. Caldus then speaks quickly. The trial of glory remembers that victory without witness is just merely survival. And he points to the southern flame. Bear the torch of acclamation. Light the eastern and western braziers, and when both burn, the laurel will descend. Claim it before the 8th roar, and your names will be carried into the grand arena. The masked prisoner moves, and the chains tighten around his throat. Beneath the laurel kneels a traitor to the games. His fate has already been entered. Do not confuse his sentence with your glory. For the record, carrying the torch, lit as it is, requires both hands. And it will halve your movement speed because of how heavy it is. The clockwork scouts that you see look to be more creature-like in this instance. And as you are entering the sands amongst the roar of the crowds, hearing your beast killers and other chants that the lost cause has gained over the course of these trials, you see that one of the clockwork bronze scouts shudders. The lights in his eyes go out, and he stops moving. The crowd boos the arena, boos the officials. Jeers and chants at how things aren't working and you can never get good service, good games these days. Bring something else on. And in response, indeed they do. As one of the clockwork bronze scouts is removed, the gate opposite pulls open, and you see before you this new creation, this new construct step out onto the sands in its place. This clockwork horror. With a red, gleaming, glowing eye. Singular. Made of bronze, copper, and it's not iron. It's more like steel.
Hmm.
And you figure this is going to be a very tough opponent. And a
That it would.
crowd gasps. Never has such creation been seen before. Never has such a construct been designed. And as it comes onto the stand, it opens one of its flaps on its chest, and it seems to show off the insides. And you see before you what looks to be an adamantine cog. Before it closes, locks it, and gives off this erroneous chuckle, mocking you as you enter onto the arena sands. As is customary at this point in time, please roll your initiatives.
15.
6 for Octavia.
Could you just go over how far those diagonal distance would be, just so that I know, so I'm not asking you later?
So to the commoner is 20 feet, to the Clockwork Bronze Scout is 40, and to your Clockwork Horror is 30.
And then what about to the... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
To the braziers, 35 to the eastern one from where you stand, and 55 to the western brazier from where you stand.
Octavia, I'm just talking its reaction. Do you think you have anything that you could use to address that thing?
I guess maybe we should have chose to jam the gate.
Well, I suppose we should have. Then,
Um,
anything you could use to light the cauldrons? I know you're pretty potent in your abilities. I don't think carrying this torch is going to do either of us well.
I can create fire if it will work within the cauldrons. That is a risk that we can take. I can get over there, but the risk is that I get over there, I light a fire, and it only requires the torch fire.
We need to try.
Then put on your clown suit and make some noise.
Clown suit? Right. Okay.
As this comes to a close with your conversation, indeed, combat starts. And at the top of the round, within the arena, you each get one thing that you can do in terms of assessment of your surroundings.
I know the games of glory would not put an undefeatable foe in front of us. They leave something somewhere, or leave some purposeful vulnerability, though concealed to the public eyes, but just enough that a skilled fighter would notice to make it possible. I'm looking for that something, that opportunity they leave for those perceptive enough to succeed this trial of glory. May I roll a perception or something similar?
You can indeed.
What would you like me to?
You have a choice, either perception or investigation.
I will roll investigation. An 8.
On an 8, it's pretty hard to really notice much, but you can see that both braziers feed the central frame. And other than what you've been told, lighting both braziers will unlock the laurel and lower it down to the plinth. Other than that, There's not much more you can discern.
Then for glory, I suppose.
Octavia, how would you like to try and appraise, in some way, shape, or form, this arena?
Um, can she discern whether there's some type of magical effect on the torch or on the fire or anywhere around signaling that they do need that fire specifically?
Roll an Arcana check for me.
9. Oh, can I use my Heroic Inspiration?
You can indeed.
If I get another one, I swear. 27.
Pretty good, man.
On a 27, you do not perceive any magical barrier of any kind that would prevent the use of lighting the braziers by a magical means. Although you do gather it might not necessarily be in spirit of the games. But there is nothing in the rules to say you cannot. What you do realise is that the flame beside you in the torch is perfectly still. It is a controlled flame. And you can discern that it is a magical flame. One that will stay lit even if the torch is dropped. And with these sands and these fire channels that run quartering the arena, if it is dropped in the wrong place, it could very well light or ignite the channels before the braziers are lit. And if it does that, you discern the man is condemned, but the laurel will not be unlocked.
So the commoner will die, like the laurel will die?
Potentially, yes. The golden laurel itself could be lost as well. As you determine that the plinth with your 27, the plinth being mechanical in nature, connected to these braziers, once both are lit, will potentially fall away to something below.
Okay.
But the braziers can be lit magically, should you choose.
Can I just quickly relay that information to Rosen about it can be magically lit? We could also set everything on fire. So that there's a chamber down below.
Yep.
Kind of. Okay.
Absolutely. And with that, we are going to get into the first round of combat. As the first roar rages through the arena, it sounds like a lion's roar coming from one of the many talented musicians in the stands. And the crowd roars with it, expecting results, expecting a death, an execution, wondering what is going on. And the clockwork bronze scout steps forward. And ends its turn there. Rosen, what would you like to do?
Well, what do I always do? Pick a fight I can't win. As Rosen's going to start running between Octavia and the clockwork horror. He's going to shout out not towards the crowd, but those who hold the ledgers. And he'll shout, "There's no glory in games we can't win. You throw this beast of adamantine in steel armor with a man that has little more than edged weaponry. There's no glory in impossible games. There's no fun, there's no entertainment. What do you offer to make this a show? A show has a hero and a villain that is slain, but a fight must be possible for it to have any glory behind it. Fighting a pointless battle is not glory-filled, it is a wasted death. And to that, what do you have to say?" As Viren is moving between the clockwork horn, Octavia and takes the dodge action while bracing his battle axe and his shield.
Fair enough. As you dash across, you get 30 feet, which takes you to the opposite side and just before the fire channel. And you brace yourself and prepare yourself with the dodge. And you hear a response back from Calden Ven, who simply says, "Get the golden laurel, and there won't be a fight."
Alright.
Is that the end of
Noted.
your turn?
It is, with the dodge action taken.
Indeed. As the clockwork horror steps forwards, it stops just before the channel. And with 10 foot between you, it is going to lift up one of its arms. It's going to point directly at you. And then you are going to see from its single eye a lightning bolt cast out, shooting from there towards you. Does a dirty 20 hit?
For the dodge action, I believe attacks against me are made at disadvantage.
That is correct. I will roll a second time. Does a 15 hit?
It does not hit.
As this bolt flies past you, hitting the sand behind you, turning the grains of sand, some of it to glass. And it is going to spin up, or begin to spin up, its rotating saw at the end of its other arm. Whilst it waits. Next turn. Octavia, what are you doing?
Can I make my like movement distance towards the basin on the right, please?
The eastern brazier, 30 feet,
Yes.
will get you right in front of it.
Perfect. Can I cast create fire, bonfire, in the basin, please?
You can indeed. And I do not believe there's a roll needed for this. At least, not for the casting of the magic. However, as this is not the torch itself, I need you to roll a d20 and add your spell modifier for me.
Okay. 8.
8. How long does bonfire last for? I believe it's 1 minute or until put out.
Yes, 1 minute. With
Perfect.
concentration.
With concentration. Perfect. You will have another opportunity next round, as long as you're still concentrating on it, to try and relight the fire. Next up.
Oh, did it go out?
No, it hasn't gone out. The bonfire is
Okay.
still lit, but it hasn't lit the brazier yet.
Okay.
So, it is the commoner's turn, and you see him struggling against the chains and restraints as they slowly tighten around his wrists, his legs, his ankles, and his neck. And I need to roll a d20 on his turn. The platform begins to rotate 90 degrees clockwise. So the commoner is now facing the west brazier. And as it rotates, you hear the grinding of the stone, and you begin to see that underneath it is just empty space, dark through some of the cracks that appeared as it rotated, where bricks didn't line up neatly. You can't tell how deep it is. You can't tell any more than that, other than it is dark, and that there is indeed a pit beneath him. As some of the brickwork begins to fall away as it rotates. And we get to the second roar, as it calls out from the same musicians that did the first roar. And you begin to realize a little bit more of what's going on. As I apologize, as I try and scroll back and find the roars and what each one does. There it is. The east to west channel erupts. So where the flames are burning slightly from the brazier that you are both in front of along that channel, you see small sparks of flame begin to rise up from the channels as you are both within 5 feet of it, and that includes the clockwork horror. I require dexterity saving throws, please.
Alright, I get to roll with advantage due to the dodge action.
Yep.
10. 10.
So, for those that's rolled below a 15, which was everyone except the clockwork horror, you will take, as sparks of flame hit you, a total of 3 1d6 fire damage. That'll be a total of 10 points of fire damage as these sparks of flame shoot out and hit you, almost as if this channel is restless for the flame. And then it quietens down once again. And we are at the top of the round. The clockwork bronze scout moves around and manages to just make it across the channel. But he cannot go or do anything else. Rosen, you're up.
Done. All I've got is to attack and fight, I suppose. Rosen's gonna go for an attack on the clockwork horror. And as I go for the attack action, he's going to use his channel divinity, Vow of Enmity. When you take an attack action, you may expend 1 use to utter a vow against a creature you can see within 30 feet. You have
Okay,
advantage on attack rolls against that creature for 1 minute.
perfect.
And then I shall attack. 17. The higher one is a 17. Does that hit?
17 scrapes off his armor.
Then I suppose that will be the end of Viren's turn.
As it is now the Clockwork Horror's turn. His saw blade, the rotating saw on the end of his right arm, he just begins to lift and swing it in your direction. Does a 23 hit?
Indeed, it does.
You'll take 7 points. Sorry, that's the wrong damage die. Do not take 7 points. You'll take 4 points of slashing damage as it strikes you.
I've added that to
And
my
then
total.
the second attack, as it chomps down, having connected with the saw, does an 18 hit.
Meet it. Indeed, it does.
So the damage is 1d8 plus 2. As metal jaws essentially chomp down on your arm, you will take 7 points of piercing damage.
I've added it.
Very well. Octavia.
Okay.
You're
Let's see if
currently
I can do this. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
you're currently concentrating on the bonfire.
Yes.
So let's get that d20 roll plus your spell modifier.
Okay.
This is free. On a
25.
25, natural 20, you do indeed. Concentrating on it hard enough, you manage to get this brazier lit. And indeed, the flames begin to roar. And as they roar, you see the channel light up. The flames spill out into the channel, and it begins to light its way around the plinth in the center. It's a beautiful sight, and you hear the crowd cheering, roaring with pure joy that you might actually succeed at this challenge.
Mechanics question.
Yes.
Because it will go forward on what I have to do next. If I lose concentration on the bonfire to light another bonfire, will that one deplete, or now that it's lit, will it stay like lit?
Now it's lit, it will stay lit.
Okay. How far is the distance from one end to the other?
From where you are standing, because you do have to move around the plinth in the middle, it is 35 foot to where the Clockwork Bronze Scout is. And then from the other side is another 35 feet. Plus the 5 in the middle, so 35, 40, 75 feet total movement to get to the other side.
Alrighty.
Even longer if you go the other way.
Okay. So here's what my plan is. You might have to, like, I don't quite know the mechanics of it. I want to add my movement along with my Misty Step. So that's 30 feet on 30 feet. And then can I add the dash action in on my regular movement to go the extra distance?
You can indeed. The Misty Step would be classed as either your action or your... Hang on. With your Misty Step, does it say one bonus action or one action to cast?
It can be either or.
Okay, so if you use it for your bonus action, you would use your action to dash with.
Okay.
But yes, indeed, you can do that.
Okay, then I will do that then.
And that will indeed get you across, but not without an attack of opportunity as you pass the Clockwork Bronze Scout. Not enough to stop you, but definitely enough for it to possibly worry you, providing it can hit you, which it appears that it
doesn't even
cannot.
see me.
So you make it to the other side, but that would be the end of your turn.
Yes.
From beneath the commoner's mask, you can see a struggling man. He doesn't seem to be calling out or crying out, doesn't seem to be capable of it, and he is still masked at this moment in time. Oh dear. As he's rolled 10 or below again, the platform rotates once more another 90 degrees. And yet more stone begins to break away from the mechanism that's holding it in place. And for those that are paying attention, you begin to see what looks like flames licking up from underneath the plinth. As the stone is falling away, it is becoming quite clear that his death, his execution, is to be a fiery one. And the golden laurel still stands above the plinth. Not yet lowered. And it is the top of the round, and once again you hear the next roar. The champions in the gallery begin to pound on the screen, the iron screen that's in front of them, as if trying to attract your attention or to distract you, trying to invoke emotion from the crowd, trying to jeer them on, trying to get them to change their tune. You hear from some of the crowd whispers that sound like, "Oh, they're siding with the officials. Pets are the vultures." couple of calls come out here and there. And the question isn't whether the crowd believes it or not. But it seems you are fortunate that these calls jeering at you fails to take hold as the Clockwork Bronze Scout turns around once again to block the only entrance onto the plinth. Rosen, it is your turn.
Then I'm going to take the dodge action, and I'm going to move on to the plinth. I know I'll provoke an attack of opportunity, and I'll be pretty much confronting the Bronze Scout, but that's what just has to happen.
Fair enough.
Without further ado, I do it.
So
I
you are
run.
going to run through the flames of the lit channel.
It's what I have to do. There's not much I can go around. If he faces this horror, he's more likely to die in a battle of attrition. If there's a way without fire, he would certainly take it, but doesn't seem like that.
You can go around, but it would take longer. The plinth stands maybe 5 foot above the lip of the quarters of where you are. Jumping up would be risky, but it could be possible.
Then that I will try.
As you go for the heroic leap, first of all, this will be either athletics if you intend to use pure strength of your legs to jump off with in a running jump, or acrobatics if you intend to leap across and try and scramble up the side of the plinth.
Going to go with athletics. He's going to attempt to brute force it as he always has. And see what happens.
Then roll
Rosen
me an
accepted.
athletics check.
He knew he could die here, but that was just what would happen. 19. Does that get me?
19 doesn't quite get you all the way up, but it gets you more than enough to get a grip over the edge of the platform and pull yourself the rest of the way. You succeed in a heroic leap, and you make it look effortless as you pull yourself up in front of this commoner where the laurel lies above you, just out of reach.
Then I will ask to the commoner, what are your sins? Why would they lock you here to die? Just be a piece of their games. What did you do?
The only response you get back from the masked figure.
Well, you can't have that, can we? Can I rip the mask off?
You can indeed. And as you rip the mask off, there is a gasp from the crowd. The champions in the box all stand up from their seats and start pounding the iron grill in front of them, as what you see before you is the herald of the arena. The crowd falls silent. And for a moment, everyone could hear a pin drop as you reveal the original herald of the arena, chained and bound and just 1/4 turn from his death. along with
Well,
any other creatures that may be standing on this platform.
uh-oh.
Oh God.
As Viren will shout to those holding the ledger. Is this your glory, then, that you want to show? If you're going to kill me, I'm at least going to have something to be remembered by. Right. You put something I can't face in front of me. With little help? Octavia's strong, I will give her that, but I think something like this is out of our caliber. But making a sacrifice? Well, that's simple after all, isn't it?
You see, as you look around, panic coming from various areas of the nobles' benches and pavilions and galleries above. The crowd begins to call out, "Cease the games! Cease the games! Cease the games!" And you hear from somewhere, "Calden Ven. So you have revealed the traitor of the games to the crowd, despite knowing that he is guilty and a traitor to the games themselves, and despicable in his language to those of nobility, calling them vultures, calling them out for things they have not committed, for things you have no proof of him being innocent for. Then let me begin by saying this. He is a traitor of the games, and he is to be executed.
As
If you
Viren,
wish favor of your patron, your sponsor, you will claim the golden laurel and win the trial, and the execution shall commence.
as hearing this and the crowd's reactions, more so to see what they'll do.
The
Viren,
crowd is booing Calden Ven, the deputy herald, with all their heart.
then, with my battle axe no longer in hand, and likely not the shield either, as I had to make a desperate jump, Rosen's going to reach to the glaive on his back, which has likely had the cloth wrapping around it slightly charred off, and he'll make an offer to the crowd. Does he live, or will he die? As I raise my glaive.
You raise your glaive, and the crowd unanimously calls out, "He lives! He lives! He lives!" Thumbs up in the air, all the way through and through, at every possible angle you could see a member of the audience from.
But saving his life would do little to help mine now, wouldn't it? It wouldn't exactly be fair to save one life, but it cost me my own. Don't you think that's a little unreasonable? As I look across the crowd.
"He's innocent! Save him!"
But is there anyone truly innocent in the lands of glory? We fight and shed blood to sculpt tributes to our gods in the sand. Is there truly innocence in a land of glory? Or is there contenders? And is this
He
not
told the
his
truth!
trial?
He told the truth of the vultures! He told the truth! Save him!
And then Viren will, no, oh my goodness, Rosen will look over at those holding the ledgers deciding the games. Well,
There is
What
a
will it do for his life?
scowl coming from almost all of the officials at the officials' arch. And as you look up at Celine Vorst, well, she has turned her back on you, and she is no longer facing the arena, arms crossed.
Then,
He has glaring daggers.
so could I break the chains off of them? So out of character for a moment, what I will propose to the crowd is what may be Viren's last game of glory. He has a javelin that's been stowed on his back since the beginning, in a glaive.
Yes.
If Viren's gonna die, he might as well go down fighting. And if they want this man to live, why shouldn't he fight for his life the same way Rosen and Octavia have to fight for theirs? So if at all possible, could I break the chains and give him this opportunity, if for nothing else than only glory?
You may certainly attempt to do so as you swing your glaive and attack the chain to try and free him. Roll to hit.
A 7.
Your axe
Actually,
hits. Your
I'm going
axe.
to use heroic inspiration.
Go for it.
I want this chain to break. A 25.
That definitely hits. As you strike at the chain, roll your total damage.
A 6.
Is enough to damage and weaken the chain to the point where single tug from the herald breaks it free. This frees up his hands, to which he then removes the gag that's gagging him. And as he removes it, he can't stand without your help. But he refuses the stool.
Ben.
That's a little bit later, sorry. But as he takes the gag out, you were told glory was obedience, weren't you? You were told blood was the truth. You were told the result was written only after the killing. And he looks at the black draped chair in the gallery above in the champion's box. And then he looks to Rask and Alec and Soren. Look at them. They rang what was meant to be silent. They saved what the fire was ordered to erase. And when commanded to take glory from a dying man, they gave me my voice back to tell the truth. And they saved a husband from becoming widowed. They worked out what was going on. You, from what I've heard, were sure to be my death.
So, can I use my last point of lay on hands to heal him enough to where maybe he could potentially stand on his feet?
Of course you can. I will allow it.
I'm going to drop a javelin to the ground. Well, Harold, why not one last game for the crowd? It's clear we're both going to die here. Our lives have been written off as little more than a cleaning expense. Why not give the crowds one last show of glory then? Your life or mine.
Sure. If that's how it must be. But I don't want to. I promise you I'm innocent. Just don't.
Innocent doesn't mean a thing in this land. And you know it as good as I as I drop my glade into the fires nearby and pull out a javelin of my own. Then,
As you do this, Octavia, you're still staring up at the box whilst watching what is going on. And with this conversation echoing around the halls, the arena, and the crowd falling silent as they're hearing the conversation, unbelieving of what's being said and asked, you notice Celine Vorse turning her head back towards the games. And you also spot the Red Clerk, though he was angry just a moment ago, with a small smirk on his face. And you could almost lip read what he's saying to his aide next to him. And I thought he was going to free him. As that will be the end of your turn. And the Clockwork Horror, from where it stands in a 120-foot range, looks up at you, Rosen, and casts another lightning jolt. I don't think an 11 hits.
as I'd imagine Rosen would almost duck under it, going to a kneeled position holding the javelin and say, "We don't exactly have all day, will we? If you don't get a move on, the horror might take me first."
Octavia, it is your turn. What are you doing?
Well, there's no point in lighting up the things now, because he's broken free. Right?
We still will die if we don't have the golden thing.
Oh, we still need it lit? Okay.
Yes, the only way to get the golden laurel lowered.
Okay. So she is going to cast fire again within the basin to ignite the pathway.
Perfect. The bonfire is lit in the bottom of the brazier. If you can roll a d20 plus your spellcasting modifier to see if the brazier will light. And indeed it does. First time this time. As it lights up and the fire gully roars to life around this plinth. I need to find it. As soon as the second brazier lights, the second flame rises. The golden laurel drops down to within reach, and the platform beneath the prisoner and yourself, Viren, begins to split open. The restraint frame lurches downward 1 foot. But he's not attached to it anymore. And he is standing on the same platform, on the same side of the platform as you are, where it is splitting down the middle.
Good. Very good. I'd have it no other way. Let's see who lives and who dies here.
Indeed. For the first time, you hear the final words from the herald as he gasps and simply says, Fine. And in his herald voice, calling out to the arena once more, he calls, "Make them watch!" as he picks up the javelin and readies himself. Octavia, that was your action to cast a bonfire, I believe. What would you like to do now?
The black square, is that where everything is gone?
That's where the platform is now splitting apart, yes.
Okay.
You've probably got one round in which to get the golden laurel off of the plinth.
So, sorry, like if we end this round and then one more full round?
Correct.
Okay. I will then use my, let me check to make sure I still have a use before I say that. Yes, I do. Okay. Can I use my movement along with Misty Step to get up?
You can indeed. Misty Step would indeed evade the need for you to roll that athletics check or acrobatics check and get you up onto the platform, where you can easily grab as part of your bonus action.
Okay, I will grab it.
But that will be the end of your turn.
Okay.
And it is the Herald's turn, as he will attempt to not strike you with the javelin, but instead use it in a way that's going to try and push you over the edge. As I pull up the stats for the Herald, bear in mind he himself was once a former champion. He's stronger than he looks. And he will roll a strength check to see if he can push you into the fiery pit that is opening up below you, that was to be his execution. That is going to be a 1d20 plus 3 for a dirty 20.
I'll roll my athletics. A natural 1.
Indeed, you cannot hold your footing, and as he strikes with the javelin you've given him, he indeed does push you, using the javelin as leverage to make sure that you cannot evade the attack. He is well practiced, and he pushes you in to the fiery pit below. You are falling a total of 30 feet. And then you are burning. The smell of your skin and scales smouldering, the leather burning in that pit. As you look up, you realize there is no hope. There is no escape from here. It has been sealed shut, other than the entrance at the top. You will take 3d6 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the bottom, for a total of 12 points of damage. And then you will take another d4 every turn as you burn to a crisp for another 3 points of damage.
And with that, Rosen is down and dying.
Oh my god.
And you will automatically fail a death save every round. because you are being actively cremated.
As Rosen feels his flesh burning, just a smile appears on his face. A little bit. But so. It's all for glory then, isn't it? He thinks to himself as he's slowly burning away.
Commoner, or what you thought was a commoner originally, that turned out to be the herald, for his movement will leap off the platform and over the edge, just as the platform he was standing on begins to crumble. This wasn't the result that Celine Vorst wanted. Celine? Whatever her name was. It evades my mind in the moment. I'm sorry. I'll get it right later. This isn't the result that she wanted. And as you look up Octavia, you see her turning her back once again and walking out of the arena. Away from the games entirely. As the Clockwork Bronze Scouts will attempt to take a strike at you, Octavia, though you are holding the golden laurel, does a 13 hit?
It does not.
His attack misses. As Rosen, you automatically fail one death save.
I'd expect no less.
As you are burning. Clockwork Horror is going to retreat backwards as it is unable to see its target. Octavia. Octavia.
What am I supposed to do with the golden? Am I just supposed to get it off?
Yeah, get it and get off the plinth.
No
one
can
told
she
you
see?
otherwise.
Can she see down in the crack?
You can indeed.
Can I see him, like, burn? I can't get him out. I don't know how to get him out. I have nothing that I can get him out with. Is the fire just? Is it like that furnace from before where it's methane gas you said, or whatever that
Methane.
was, methane gas, or is it just a random fire but below?
You're not sure. It's 30 feet and the heat is searing upwards. It is quite smoky. And if you're not careful, you might start choking. Roll a perception check for me with disadvantage.
Okay. 19 with disadvantage.
Holy shit. Okay. On a 19, you do indeed spot several tubes that are coming up from underground that these flames are coming from. About 8 of them in an octagonal pattern. And layered over the top of that is the wood and grass and straw and God knows what else that's burning away.
Okay. Then I would like to. Oh gosh. Okay. For my action, can I cast a 20-gallon thing of water to drop below to put out the fire even temporarily?
I will allow it, as I did before.
Okay.
Roll the d4.
3.
For 3 rounds, you manage to douse the flames.
Okay.
Staving off the inevitable, just for a moment.
And then she's going to use her bonus action to get off of the
Question.
yes.
Rosen, what type of armor are you wearing?
Chainmail.
So it's heavy then.
It is rather heavy. And its melting point might not be looking good for Rosen.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
But
Well, the water would cool it.
the water would indeed cool it, but with heavy armor and him being unconscious, his body does not float upwards with the water.
Oh God, I just drowned him.
And indeed, 20 gallons would be enough to fill this well. But he remains affixed to the bottom.
I didn't
Because of
think
his heavy
drowning
armor.
would be the way he'd go, but it's all acceptable in the end.
Right.
And indeed, you are now drowning instead of burning, Viren.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Rosen.
You shouldn't have picked me as a partner.
Viren
Oh my God.
had no intention of living.
Not Viren, Rosen.
Oh my gosh. You made me do it too now. Rosen. Same thing. They're both dragonborn that have problems. At least one's going to see what's at the other side now, I suppose.
Yes. As you slip away, the clockwork Ron's scout. Oh no, it's the commoner's turn next. Sorry, the herald's turn.
Was I able to
Move.
misty step off the
Yes,
thing?
you can. Yes.
Okay.
And
Or
it
wherever
is
she goes.
it's wherever you wish to go, towards the exit or wherever. Does not matter.
Yeah, exit.
The herald looks up, points at you, Octavia, and simply says, "Have ye no care, like your friend, your partner in this trial, or do you have remorse? Tell me."
You tell me something first. Why is it the gods want you to live?
Why the gods wish me to live, I have no answer for. I merely mocked those that required the mocking, revealed the truths and secrets that needed to be revealed, and told the truth, and got the crowd on my side and the side of the champions in the gallery. And he points up. I merely responded with what was found. I never told a single lie, and yet still I am treated not only as a liar, but as a traitor by them. And he points at the Red Clerk. They
Then why don't you do something about it?
need to be executed for their fixing of the games. I cannot. Unless the champions defy everything this arena stands for and roots out and beats out the corruption from the vultures above. The fixing of the games, the sabotage of the arena, and the mark of the black laurel returning like it did 10 years prior, where they have already sold the champions and written the ending for their own filthy gotten gains. And as he's calling out, you all hear from somewhere up in the crowds from the western side a shot, a single shot ring out. Sound like that of a musket fired at range. And it misses its target. A bullet hits the sand in front, maybe 10 foot away from the herald. The crowd oust the shooter. And essentially you see the crowd manhandling him down, down, down into the pit, into the arena, and over the wall they throw him. Where the herald, still holding the javelin, turns, "You shoot at me!" And he throws the javelin at the shooter, who is sprawled on the floor. Javelin hits him square in the chest and kills him. And then he moves. He moves towards you, Octavia. As that's as far as he can get. Before the plinth behind you in the middle of the thing collapses completely, with splashes into the water below. As you both leave.
She's not leaving.
Oh, you're not leaving the arena?
Not yet. She still has one more thing she wants to do.
Okay.
Can she call upon her
God.
her god? Gods, whoever's in charge of her?
You can.
She wants to connect with them spiritually. I have done as you asked. I have saved your commoner. I have saved the person that you define as innocent. And yet it costed the life and the soul of my fellow companion. Should you want these games to continue, should you want me to continue to be your toy and your plaything, you will do something to revenge or bring back my partner. Otherwise, I will end it now. I will end all of this. I will kill him, and then I will take myself out. And you will not have anything to continue to play with. Do something.
This is going to be an extremely hard check.
Okay.
But roll a religion check.
Dirty 20.
You hear a response back in your head as you call out. You hear the gods for a brief moment. If we bring him back, he will surely drown just as quickly if he were conscious than if he was unconscious. If we bring him back and he dies a second time, unable to escape, that would be on your conscience. But most of all, if we ask him and he chooses not to come back, what would your response be? As everything around you seems to have completely frozen in this moment.
Give him the option. Should he want to stay as he is, pass on to wherever his landing is and where he wants to go, let him. However, this is not something that we nor you get to decide for him. If he chooses to stay dead, allow it. If he chooses not to, give me the chance to at least try to save him.
Very well. Rosen,
Mm-hmm.
what is your current state of death saves?
Well, I got doused before I had the next one. I don't think I've rolled yet. Would you like me to?
I would.
A 3. The first fail.
Technically the second.
Did I take damage to the fire then?
You didn't take damage, but yes, you took damage as you were being burned, but not damage as in hit point loss, damage as in a death
I
save.
thought they exploded the fire. Then I do have 2 failed death saves. My apologies.
You are on the cusp of death.
That I
Roll
am.
your third death save, please. Or your next one, I should say.
The first success.
Roll until you resolve whether you pass or fail.
It's a second success. And a third success.
Indeed, you successfully recover and become an unconscious body. And as you're unconscious, you hear a soft tone in your head as you are drifting and dreaming in this state. And it asks you very clearly once and once only, do you wish to be alive? Do you wish to be given the chance to rise to the surface? Or would you rather be in this watery grave?
Oh, goodness. You've given Rosen the opportunity to piss off someone in a really good way. Does he value his life more? Pissing them off. Well, I guess I do have business on the other side. It would be nice to have a chance to get that fulfilled, but maybe taking a rest wouldn't be too bad. Eh, what the hell? Why not? I'm a good swimmer. And if nothing else, I'll just see you again, won't I? Sure. Bring me back then. Let's see what happens.
You feel from your unconscious mind, you waking up slowly with one hit point to your name. And with that last ounce of strength in you, you feel the chain mail that's holding you down slip off, laying underneath you, giving you the opportunity to swim up to the surface.
And that is what I will do. Viren had accepted he would die in the games, but
Rosen.
he doesn't. Gosh, you know what? We've both been doing that. We need like a DM jar. Every time we say it, we've got to give it player inspiration or something. Rosen. It's not my
Yes.
fault I was Dragonborn here. Well, he didn't want to exactly make it easy for them. If he's got a chance to kick around a few more stones and throw a few more wrenches in the games, then why not? He'll come back up.
As you break the surface of the water and take a gasp of breath, pull yourself up onto what remains of the platform outer rim and step down onto the sands. Burnt, charred, scarred, now with no chainmail.
Though most certainly entertained.
There
Can
is
I
a.
see the
Sorry?
Can I see the Herald?
You can indeed.
How damaged does he look?
At this moment,
The
not very.
gods are gonna smite you. Stop it.
I could try. I could really try. I suppose Viren will play nice. He made an offer and he technically lost, so he'll behave.
You mean Rosen, right?
You know what?
Yes.
I'm done. You know what I mean. You already know. Gosh. Rosen
Yes.
made that offer and he lost. So, that's that.
The
So
Herald looks up at you with a grin on his face. Didn't think I used to be a former champion, did you?
well, you certainly aren't as... You didn't look as strong as you were, but a game's a game and you won. Glory to you then.
Aye. Glory to the games. And he turns and walks out of the arena. With the
So,
laurel claimed and the herald rescued, both of you will advance to level 4.
Good God, that was stressful.
but it made for a good show.
It did. It
You
did indeed.
hear the crowd turning on Marius. The herald has survived to testify, and Lady Cecilia retreats out of her patron box and away from the games. As you two make your way back to your resting chambers, we will be back next week with the Arena of Champions, where we will find out what the public title given to the last. What was it? The last. I've got it written down and I've completely forgotten. The Lost Hope. The Lost. No. Champions. I've completely forgotten what your name was. What your team's name was.
The Lost Cause.
The Lost Cause. That's the one. Thank you. We will return next week with the new public names for the Lost Cause, what the crowd and the Herald has given you, and the Arena of Champions, where we will have your team versus the previous champions up in the gallery in what will be a rather epic showdown. Thank you all for listening to tonight's session of Games of Glory. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope it's been intriguing and murderous enough. Got your blood pumping as it would in the arena. Come back next Saturday to find out who remains champion or if they become the new champions. Bye for now.